Hey, 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 we're back, we're black, we're around ambition, ambition,
Ambition,
ambition,
ambition,
ambition,
ambition,
ambition.
ambition.
Hey, Manja, how you
Hi,
doing?
I'm all right. Had a lovely long weekend.
Me too.
What about you? You went a little upstate?
I did because
Cute, cute.
by the time this comes out, it will be my birthday.
Yeah,
It's your
happy early
birthday, girl.
birthday.
It's your birthday. October 16th.
The big 4-5?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? I'm like 45. What the hell? Who's that? Me? Oh my God. It sounds
Yeah.
bananas. Like my 16-year-old self is like, you old. I'm like, well, whatever. She's a hater. She's a
Uh,
hater because she hasn't figured out her brows yet.
age ain't nothing but a number. Well, how are you feeling about, yeah, I mean, 45, like,
I
how are you
know.
feeling?
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't feel 45, whatever that means. I feel grown. That you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like I do feel like a full-fledged adult. Like I think how like up
Oh,
until
so is
like my
that when it
30s.
happens?
I
I'm
know.
waiting.
I want to say it was like my mid to late 30s when like I made the transition to like, oh, I actually feel grown. Right? For the longest time, I still felt like my second grade self. Like, girl, why didn't they let me drive? Um,
Yeah.
but no, I feel like an adult, and I will say, for
Good.
me, I know for a lot of people, birthdays kind of represent kind of like what you haven't done. Oh, I wish I would have done this. I wish I. I have to say,
Mm,
by the time I hit 40, I could look around and say, kind of like if I look at my journal and it had like my big dreams written down, for the most part, I've achieved those things. So my birthdays don't come with it. What I haven't done is kind of like, what the hell? How did I get here? So I don't know.
mm.
They're time for reflection in a good way. I don't feel a sense of like, oh, man, I thought by
Oh,
this age
no.
I'd be dot 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 dot. I want to say I stopped that by 40.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
I mean, just once a, I don't wait just once a year to do that. Just once a day. The way that I'm like, dang, I wish I would wash those dishes last night. I wish I would have put my clothes in the dryer like I meant to last night. Now I got to rewash them.
But I'm not gonna lie, I gotta
uh,
get back like in the because they do say like especially now like have to start lifting weights again. I used to like do
mm,
weight training and not even for like the so you could be all tight and slim,
yeah.
because I'm entering into the perimenopause. I still get my cycle. Sorry, man. So I guess I
Yeah.
don't know. I think you can still get your cycle on peri. I mean, I'm still regular, but I do know that the older you get, you really are supposed to build muscle, and it helps with like osteoporosis. So, I've just been like mindful. Like Tiffany, honestly, you need to hit the gym and like do more weight training because I'm just entering into this age where like if you don't, you really put your general health at risk. I'm like, I don't want osteoporosis. You
Yeah. Listen, good luck. It sucks. It's
know.
not fun. I think I hit like the 2-month mark with my
Okay.
trainer, Gary.
Okay.
Um, Ew, I said his name out loud. He doesn't deserve that free press.
Why do we love hate our trainers? They're like, I hate you, but thank you.
What a terrible job. I
I
don't know
know.
why a trainer trains. Like, no one's happy to see you. And it's not like he's training like elite athletes. He's here in the suburbs training like busy moms. And and also what I like about my trainer is that we're kind of rude to each other. Like, I don't have to, like, you're going to see me at 6:30 before coffee. Like,
Girl,
I'm not giving you Mandy
it's a thankless
money.
job. It's like a dentist, a thankless
Yeah.
job.
He's
No
like,
one
so
comes to
you feel
dentist and
thinner,
say,
you feel skinny, your pants fitting looser. I'm like, if you don't I'm here. Okay. That's the only question. No questions. But I don't feel like physically that like I've had that big transformation, but obviously so much stronger. Like, that is
okay,
definitely the
yeah,
benefit. But then today I was like, I'm just gonna have to do this 3 days a week forever. When
yeah,
does it stop?
I know,
But you're a good reminder of why I'm doing it now.
yeah,
Um, to
right, in a
prepare
good way or a bad
myself.
way.
No, in a good
I'm like, what the hell?
sorry. Sorry, the tone was not giving what
I was
my
like,
brain
oh
wanted
yeah,
it
wait, hold on,
to.
damn,
No, I just mean like, start small, like start
yeah,
building these habits early. But
yeah,
the way that I desperately want to stop, I'm just like, Um, I've been doing it 3 days a week,
I've been
and
seeing your stories.
I think I'm just tired of waking up, but I don't know. Something's got to. I don't want to quit, but my body is like, can we have a little woosah? And so I don't know what the right balance
Sometimes
is.
it's like that's the part where you actually have to push past. You
Uh,
know,
is
I
it?
know it
Hmm.
is, and I mean, as someone who, girl, remember I was on my jump rope craze, and my knees were like, who? And I
Mm-hmm.
thought I had arthritis, arthur and itis in each of my knees. The doctor was like, "Girl, no, you just need to exercise more."
Uh,
Because my knees was like, "Oh, my knees is giving up," and she's like, "Yeah." Like basically, I have to strengthen the muscle around my knees, and I'm like,
mm,
so then I was walking a lot, and honestly, I still really do love walking. I just have not hit the road jack like I've had before, and honestly, walking is still not weight training. And I
mm-hmm.
know that like I need to weight train. It doesn't even have to be weights. It could just be your own body. So that's like the
Mm-hmm.
stage I'm entering into. I'm taking all of November off, which I do now because um I learned from my therapist that November for me, I mean, I knew it, but I didn't feel it so triggering because that's the month Jarrell passed away. And so I told myself
Yeah.
that's gonna be like, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not traveling. I'm just going to almost like reclaim my health in November. Like I wanted to do my first like vitamin drip. I've never done that before.
Oh, like where
Um
they actually hook you up to an IV,
yeah.
like rich
And
people do after their parties.
yeah. Yeah. So my friend Linda does that, and she was just like she gets it quarterly. And she just swears by it.
What
And
goes in you? Like, what is it?
you can kind of choose. So you could do vitamin B because I tend to get a cold every November. So I want to
Mm,
get C. I know I'm vitamin D deficient.
some zinc.
Maybe some B. So these are kind of conversations I'm going to have. Like I'm like, okay, that I'm debating whether maybe I'll join a gym. I actually used to not mind going to the gym. I haven't decided. Because
Mm.
also too, when it gets really, really cold, ain't nobody leaving the house. But I
That's
do
what
have a
it
gym
is.
downstairs.
I think that's what it is. I think it's the colder weather.
Yeah.
Thank God I can pre-warm my car.
I mean,
For y'all who just like, how do you
I don't
just
even
the
know. Right now, I'm
steering
driving
wheel all
my
icy?
mom's 25-year-old Mercedes Benz. Like she got a
I'm
Benz truck
sorry.
25 years ago.
The Millennium Bends
I
from the turn of
mean,
the
I
century?
what when they got that Benz, it was first of all, she has heated seats. I said, not Sylvia stunting on the ground 25 years ago. I didn't
You
even know they
know
had,
she was, yeah.
but no, because they hit Jarrell's car, and so I got the money and bought Alyssa
Not
her
your
first
parents.
car.
Someone hit, but not your parents.
Yeah,
That
yeah, no,
the way
yeah,
you said that made
somebody
it
hit
seem
it.
like
Yes. And so I used that. They gave me like around $15,000, and I used it to get Alyssa's car, which was like 16,000.
yeah.
And so now I'm debating, and maybe we could talk about this
For
next
God's
episode
sake, get a
more.
nice car for yourself.
I am, but I'm debating lease versus buy. That's like the
Oh,
debate
okay.
right now. But I mean, we could talk about that on maybe the next session. Talk about the pros and cons as I make my decision because I don't drive that much. But
Mm.
yeah, so girl, I'm just November is going to be like I want to get
Get
a
a
massage. I want to get like a
self-care
routine
month.
going of exercise. I want to sleep late. Um,
Mm.
yeah, just it's gonna
That
be like
sounds awesome.
yeah, just kind of like regain health a month. I mean, I'm not unhealthy. I mean,
Yeah.
but I just feel like I have to be more intentional. It's not like I'm like, oof, girl, 45 ain't what it used to be.
Well, it's
So
also just like, I mean, you're holding space for your grief at the same time too.
yes,
So I hope that it's just that you don't have too much on your to-do list and that you
no,
can, you know, yeah, it's
everything is
almost
very if I feel like it, which I like.
yeah, you're giving
Yeah,
yourself a soft place to land,
yes,
which
yes, and
is
also
I'm
too,
really
like I said, I
happy to hear
just want to
that.
feel. I don't know. I feel like we're in this pivotal moment where it's like if you don't take care of yourself physically, it's hard to come back harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm just like, Tiffany, I'm not trying to be some muscle woman, which nothing's wrong with that. But I just want to be like, oh, I've got a gentle routine,
Yeah.
that like my body's in good shape. As far as like I feel strong, I can get up off the floor without having to do okay, if I roll to the side, this knee, I got a trick shoulder. Girl, I got a trick shoulder, a trick knee. I even got an old lady laugh
Well,
these days. Damn. So,
well, you looked real good live and in color at
ugh,
BA Live,
that
Brad
was
Vision
amazing.
Live.
Yeah.
What do we say about our live show, our first ever live
It was,
show?
first of all, I I don't know what I was expecting. First of all, packed house. Okay,
Yeah.
the house was packed. But to sing our BAQA song and our opening song and to have people
Yeah.
sing it, I'm just so used to, like, I'm talking about my friend Mandy. I'm talking about my girl Mandy. That's my sister Mandy. And I'm like, wait, I forgot that y'all are listening because y'all sang it along with us. And I was like, oh my God. That was surreal. That was the most surreal moment for me. When people
Yeah.
saying, like, it's the
The
BA,
VA.
cute. I
QA.
was like,
It was so fun.
it was-
Honestly, what if we just took the audio from that like 50 women singing that song with us and just use that as
you
our future?
should.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know. You should. That'll be fun for you.
No, I didn't even think about that. I love that as an opening because we always said we never had like a,
A proper.
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah. And to meet people, people flew
Oh,
in.
they really did.
One lady
Courtney
flew
from
from Savannah.
Savannah. And she didn't just fly from Savannah. Courtney has just been, it's just really special when people will follow along with the show for years. I mean, it just like the way that you guys leave us comments and messages on Insta, like it matters. And I recognize y'all like friends in
Mm-hmm.
my head. So to see Courtney in person,
Mm-hmm.
so cute. She was even wearing the lip bar color that I wear, Rich Auntie, that we talked about before.
Oh.
Um, Everyone was just so happy to be there, and I feel proud, immensely proud. And
Yes.
and to the venue,
Uh,
Source of Knowledge Bookstore in Newark, you always said it was
yes.
special, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the smell of incense is still kind of like burned
I was like, all
in
right, we get it, y'all. I'm in.
my sinuses, but
But it
it
was a
was
beautiful
magical.
look. Yes.
It's
Because
just
I don't know that I don't I've been to black bookstores, obviously, but this is not just a black bookstore, like owned by black people. This is a
mhm.
black and brown. Well, a black bookstore that exclusively carries books and resources and literature focused on black and brown people. Like I know, Mandy, you were looking for a children's book that was like bilingual that had Spanish and
Didn't have to
English.
look far.
I
There's a whole wall
mean,
of them.
yes,
I was like, I never knew these books existed.
yes. The children's
Yeah.
section alone will blow you away. So many brown faces. You're like, all these books exist. Wow.
Yeah. It was
Hmm.
beautiful. And to Patrice and Masani,
Yes.
and Patrice's little grandbaby, he was running
Yeah.
around. He's Rio's age, and I was just like, oh, I'm adopting you for this evening
So
because it just
cute.
felt right to have a little boy running around.
Oh, and
I was
Food
just
by
like,
Nisha. The girls were pairing up Nisha's food.
yes, thank you,
Another sister.
Nisha.
Yes. Yeah. It just was. And then
Um,
we have to thank Chris for our
oh my
audio.
God,
Hmm.
Chris.
From Popcorn Finance.
Yes, for if you're a podcaster and you ever if you never need someone to fly cross country, just befriend Chris and he'll just do it. He will. No, but what a gem of a human being.
Yes.
And yeah, and thank you so much, Chris, for like planning everything. And even our producer Tanya came out. I know that
Hmm.
she was getting some she was doing some Q&A in the audience to see how people were feeling, and
Hmm.
I'm really glad that I know that this is, we're nearing the end. You're taking November off. So I'm just like, it's just cutting into our time together. But no, I'm just, to go out like that, to have an experience like that. I mean, I'm just really, really grateful that we just like did it. It
Hmm.
was very stressful. But we did it. It happened. And thank you, BA fam, for showing up.
Yes.
Um, what more can we say? We did. You guys will hear the episode. So when is that going to live? When is that going to air, Mandy? If we weren't there, when can we listen to it?
Mm.
I think we decided in November we'll be
Hmm.
airing a
A
two
two
part,
part. Yeah.
yeah, a two parter. But it was really fun. I know we talked a lot about our personal growth, the year of the pivot. What do we
Hmm.
call it? The great
Yeah. The
pivot.
pivot. Hmm.
And then we did some trivia with the VA
Yes, that was
fam.
fun.
It was it was
It
fun.
was fun. Can I tell you that,
Got a
like, my
little
sister
heated.
Tracy gave me the best compliment? She was like, because sisters don't be listening. She was
Mm.
like, wait, is that how the podcast goes? I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, it was so great. She said something that Mandy said about, you had said something about mediocrity. She said, it just touched me so much. That was like, is this how it goes? She's like, what the hell? I've been missing out. She's like, I'm going to tune in. And I
See, no one wants our family does not want to hear us talk,
girl, they're like, girl,
but
we
they're
hear you all the
missing
time.
out.
Yes. She was like,
Genuinely.
honestly, she said, it's one thing, oh, I'm going to support my sister, her friend Andy, but she's like, honestly, I was really engaged and it was really good. And she was just
Mm.
like, wow, what an amazing podcast. And Tracy's not the sister that gives compliments.
9
She's a
years
sister,
in.
so I just,
Good. Your show's pretty.
but she was like, that was amazing. She's like, hold on, let me add that to my list of podcasts. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So I just have to say that
Oh,
we got Tracy approves, which is huge approval.
thank you. And your sister's showing up. And I know Mimi and Roman were not having it, but they rolled up. They showed
Amelia was
face.
happy. She saw me sign the book. She's like, one day I'm going to sign books. I said, you will.
Oh my goodness. I just can't wait. She's like the Malia and the Sasha of the podcast, I feel like.
and Roma was just on his Roblox. What, girl? I don't even know what the kids be doing. Roblox. I said,
Couldn't
oh,
tell you.
okay. Yes.
Could not tell you. But yeah, so look forward to a 2-part series. We'll be airing the BA Live in November. And all right, but we got to get into some, well, let's just like one buzzworthy news
Yes.
item today is future vice president, future first black female president and Asian president in American history, is put out a specific plan to basically woo black male voters, because I guess black men have been leaning more towards the side of Trump,
which is
which
kind of,
I can understand. I mean, I'm not like, I don't know, in your circles, Tiff, do you feel like with your family, cousins, neighbors, like, are you hearing that in Newark? Do you feel like black men are just a little bit less persuaded or excited about Kamala?
If I'm being honest, well, one, I have all sisters, all
Right?
girlfriends. And so, I have not, I don't have a ton of black male friends. And I'm like, not
Yeah.
now that Jarrell's not here. So I'm not like in the normal mix where maybe his boys are talking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so, cause honestly, like my closest black male friend is Cabral, and it's different. Cabral is gay, black men. And most of his friends are gay black men. And so there's a different energy. So I can say I'm kind of out of the loop to like what, like the average black man, not to say, if you're gay, you're not average, but you know what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
just out of the loop of like what black men in general are thinking about Kamala, just because I just don't have them in my circle as much.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what I hear from neighbors and extended relatives is like there's this sense of like, and we should probably get someone who can speak to the black male experience on the show. But what I've felt like is that deep sense of nothing really changes for me, no matter what happens. And I think, unlike women of color, like black women, I think there's just this real sense of it doesn't matter, like no one's really speaking for me, no one's speaking to me. And so I know that there's tons of, I think that from both sides, there's criticism, there's excitement about this plan, but I thought we could just like talk about it point by point. Because honestly, everything in this plan, and this is the real thing about any kind of economic plan that is put together to serve black communities, it serves all of us at the end of the day. But there's stuff here like legalizing recreational marijuana at the federal level,
And creating
protecting.
opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this new policy, because they're legalized. It's legalized, for example, in New Jersey, but that's not who has the dispensaries.
They're all where are they at? California, Colorado?
No, meaning like the folks who own the dispensaries there are no. I mean, it's black folks that overrepresent in jail for marijuana, but the dispensaries are not owned by black folks.
Oh, okay. All right. So providing, but what are those opportunities? So I want to get into like the details. So what does that mean? Like, are they going to give like startup capital to black Americans who want to start their own dispensaries or get into the business?
Let me see, because she does have. If you go on KamalaHarris.com, she has this here, and it's really. Let me see. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many points to this. There's like expanded pathways for black men to get good paying jobs, whether or not they have a college degree. This, I will say, I've heard a lot from the black men that I am connected to. They're like, yo, I cannot find a good paying job. And I do have a college degree. Like, it's really hard. Providing more pathways for black men to become teachers and school leaders. This one of my friends is the CEO of a nonprofit, so I love this one. It says something about HBCUs and providing a pathway for them to have access to to become physicians. I think that's what I read, which I
Mm.
love because my friend Micheline, she used to be the state treasurer of New Jersey, and then she was the CEO of one of our largest hospital systems here in New Jersey, and now she's the CEO of this nonprofit organization. It's the number one, like I want to say, provider of um, Black physicians. So it's like this
Mm.
program. Think of like EOF. You know, for those of you who are familiar. Oh, maybe I don't know.
What's
Probably don't
EOF?
have it in EOF is the Economic Opportunity Fund. Basically, if you are Black or brown, no, I wouldn't say Black or brown, but if you are struggling financially and maybe the school that you came from was like, okay, but you want to go to school, you have all the potential. In New Jersey, anyway, EOF is kind of like the bridge program between high school and college. So you do the program in the summertime to kind of prepare you for college, and then they follow you throughout college. They help financially, they help with tutoring, they help with all the stuff. And so she kind of
Mm.
provides this bridge program through the nonprofit. She's not the owner for Black physicians because oftentimes it's like they have all the intelligence but none of the access.
Right.
How do I get someone to pay for lodging for me? How do I? Because so Black doctors are so critically important. Black maternal health is uh, more Black women die unnecessarily during
Right.
childbirth because of the lack of access to doctors that understand us. Um,
Mm.
and so I
Which
just
is
thought that that
something
was
that
great.
Kamala has actually been quite vocal about, especially during
Yes,
her run as VP. Okay, so thank goodness for just a good old PDF because these
yes.
news reports. Also, it's interesting, how the media will take something like this, and the first sentence in their story is legalizing marijuana, but that is not at all. It's number 5 on this 5-point plan. So let's
Yes.
just break it down. Okay, so the agenda from a high level is number 1, providing 1 million loans that are fully forgivable to Black entrepreneurs and others to start a business,
Mm-hmm.
up to
20,
$20,000.
yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
wonder if that's on top of the $50,000 loan that, or grants or something. It's probably on top of the $50,000 tax credit, excuse me, that she talked about for entrepreneurs, small business owners. All right, so
Okay.
number 2, championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help Black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Oh, we love that.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets so Black men who invest in and own these assets are protected. Okay. That's very, we'll come back to that. Okay. Okay. Number
Mm-hmm.
4, launching a national health equity initiative focused on Black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes,
Mm,
mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them.
mm.
And number 5, legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for Black Americans to succeed in this new industry.
And it really
Okay.
goes deep. I mean,
Mm.
if you really start to look at some of the bullet points, she talks about everybody from Black farmers to expanding access to bank accounts, lending to help Black men build wealth. And so those are kind of like the high level bullets. But if you really dig, like,
Well, let's do that
um,
now. Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay, so which
mhm.
one do you want to start with? Which one
um,
jumps out at you?
I would say the one that jumps out at me most is this. I mean, because we talk about finances, number 3, supporting regulatory framework for crypto and other digital assets. Well, I guess it's the financial component. How do we give more access to Black men when it comes to finances? Um,
Okay.
and so
All
like
right,
the
so
forgivable loan, $20,000.
yeah, okay, so it does detail this is on top of the small business
Mm-hmm.
tax deduction from which has already been tenfold increased from $5 to $50,000. She says the money needed to start your own business is not acceptable for many Black Americans. She's proposing a new initiative, a partnership with the SBA, the Small Business Administration, to do those $20,000 forgivable loans to entrepreneurs who have a good idea but don't have the resources,
Mm-hmm.
connections, or access to capital. These loans can help entrepreneurs rent office space and software to launch a cybersecurity company, pay for permitting fees, and purchase a van for a catering business. All these different examples of what you can use that money for. buy chair space for a barber shop, buy
Mm,
lawnmowers for a landscaping business. She'll also work with the private sector and call for additional funding to expand on proven ways to break down barriers and provide financing and venture capital to
mm.
entrepreneurs and small business owners in Black communities, expanding access to bank accounts and
Yes.
lending to help Black men build wealth. Um, that's a big one because of high fees that tend to, and again, it's like, I mean, my thing with this plan is that all these things are great for everybody, include
Yeah.
just like the Black community in general, but it's the targeting of like, we're doing this for Black men.
Mm-hmm.
That is like, that for me is a little bit of marketing spin on
Mm-hmm.
policies that really benefit all of us. I'm not mad at it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like, great. The Black community in general needs access to bank accounts that are not riddled with
Yeah.
high fees, so they can build credit, save, invest, that kind of thing.
As someone who
Um,
like taught in Newark and saw parents come in who were like, I still go to check cashing because there's no bank around here,
hmm
and they're losing 3-4% of their check at the check cashing place. So this is real. I mean, for some people are like, banks are everywhere. No, they're not. Just like
Mm-mm.
supermarkets are not everywhere. There's literally places called food deserts where you can go. There's only corner stores available. The people who live in this kind of environment, it makes it very difficult to keep your money, even if you are trying to live frugally because of
hmm
fees. So yeah.
So this one, the cryptocurrency thing. So this for
Yeah.
me, this is for anyone who owns cryptocurrency. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how they would just target this for Black Americans, but cryptocurrency is unregulated right now in
Yeah.
a large extent. I mean, obviously we've had like iconic crypto bros who've gone to jail for defrauding investors, like Sam, was it Blankman or something? I don't know, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
But this does acknowledge the fact that especially during the recession, I mean, sorry, during the pandemic, more Black
Yeah.
Americans were investing in crypto.
20%
Um,
of us own.
dang,
That's what
20%.
that's what it says
Okay.
here. I was like, I did honestly, I think about this is not praise nor censure. I think about like
Uh-huh.
Earn Your Leisure. I think about my friend Terry, Trade and Travel. I think about there was this huge uptick in which I think in general is good of like really getting Black folks invested. There was remember that article we talked about it
Mm-hmm.
about this huge uptick in like Black people are really investing in the market. But
Mm,
whenever we get into something, that's when lots of predators also come. And so I
yes.
guess she's like, you know what? The fact remains that 20% of Black Americans are invested, which means likely in the cryptocurrency, which means the unregulated, unfettered access to folks who might not be as sophisticated as an investor. Because maybe they just learned in the last couple of years, can we put some barriers in place to protect these kind of like newer
Mm,
investors? And so that's why she's like Black Americans, because she's like, girl, like 20%, that's a lot. It went from hardly anybody in our community was investing to 20% investing in cryptocurrency assets. That's
yeah.
tremendous.
Like stresses me out too. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, it is very similar to the stock market. You don't know if you're going to make any wins, but it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you're going to have, communities investing in crypto, but not other types of assets that are a bit less risky, then it's just a lot that you're gambling with. So that's good. So what caught my eye also is the barriers to employment for Black men. So this one
Mm.
acknowledges the fact that Black men are more likely to have criminal records and poor credit that holds them back from some jobs. So it talks about how she's going to work with employers or maybe introduce legislation that will require businesses to limit the use of unnecessary criminal arrest histories, convictions, and credit scores in their employment decisions.
People might
That.
say, well, you shouldn't have done the crime. Do you know what happens when you over police a place?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch your kid 24/7, you're going to catch them. So, I think, I hate when I hear people say, like, well, that's why, because Black people more likely to be criminals. No, it's because if you've got so much policing in a place, you're going to catch every nook and cranny. I live in an all white neighborhood. When I tell you the shit that was going down, girl,
They
I
love
remember I
breaking
was literally
laws.
talking. I was like, there was a kid in middle school who used to come to school with liquor in his Gatorade bottle. I'm like, what the hell was Ben going through?
There's
You know,
always a Ben. It's always
and
a Ben or a Brittany.
and then parents literally buying alcohol for the kids because they could be the cool house. Girl, the stuff that was going down in Westfield, New Jersey. And I remember distinctly,
Mm.
it was this one young man, Rashid, this other man, I don't know if his name was Jared. Rashid was Black, Jared was white. They were both selling weed in high school, and they both got caught. But Jared was white and his parents had money, and Rashid, I think it was from, I don't know, from a single mother household, and she didn't. And he, I don't know that he went to jail, but juvie or whatever. And then some years later, I was feeding the homeless on Thanksgiving, and there he was. Do you think Jared is there?
Jesus.
Do you think he's there? So how is that like? He's not more guilty. He had just more access for help. And so, yeah, so I'm just saying all that to say, like, this is why the evening of the playing field is not about like, oh, well, you shouldn't have done the crime. Yes, but people do. And
Yeah.
because they
If
have
you
access to
paid your
help.
time, like if you paid your dues, you've done your
Yes.
time. Like it never made sense to me. And it's just like a long lived
Yes.
issue. It never made sense to me why we put people through the criminal justice system and then spit them back out and say, well, you can't have access to any of these
Mm-hmm.
things to give you the tools to not go back, you know? So I'm glad to see that. And I think this is also where you're seeing like her experience as a prosecutor really coming out because she's been on the other side. She knows like, and I mean, you can talk, I know there's a lot of like criticism of her record as a prosecutor. And it's like, at the end of the day, you know, she's there, criminals have done things, she puts them behind bars because that is her job as a prosecutor. But this is her, I think, really getting at the root of what sends these people, what sends us into situations where desperate situations where we are committing crimes. I thought it was cool. I love to see that one of her initiatives here is to incentivize businesses to do more profit sharing, like to do more
Yeah.
employee stock ownership plans. Because for me personally, that was a huge contributor to my wealth building was the fact that I had
Mm,
access to stocks in the companies that I worked for. Let's see, there's so much.
I
I love the
know.
teacher one. Only 1%
Yes.
of public school teachers are Black men. So Harris wants to work with HBCUs
Did you ever
to
have a
create
black
a
male
pipeline.
teacher?
My PE teacher in the eighth grade, ninth grade, I remember he said that I was one of the hardest working girls on the team because I never complained about my period.
Oh my God.
Not in the team, the class.
I had one he taught, which is crazy, African American studies, but they only had like every other year, whatever, of course, because Westfield was so white.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and so yeah, I can't remember his name, but yes, Mr. Harry, Mr. Perry, I don't remember. But I think that was
yeah.
my first and only. I
There's a
might have
black
had black.
male teacher at Remy's daycare, and I try
Um,
not to like be weird whenever I see him. But I'm just proud of you.
I
And
love
like,
that.
can I talk to your mom and just congratulate her on raising? I'm just, but that's amazing, and I love Abbott Elementary is my favorite show, and I love that episode where what's the teacher's name? Eddie, Mr. Eddie.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the one that everybody has Chris that character plays.
yeah,
Yeah.
so cute. Anyway, where his students like draw pictures of him, and it's like a black male teacher, and he really understands the impact that he's having, and then he puts them all
Hmm.
over his room.
I also
But
too love that she has this thing about investing in programs for mentorship. One of my friends owns a company
mm,
called Black Male Mental Health on IG, and that is his core thing. That like mentorship is so critical for everybody, but especially Black boys. And I love how she even shouts out like support programs like My Brother's Keeper and HBCUs to provide more opportunities for Black men to develop leadership skills through their development. But having a really good mentor and sponsor is really critical.
oh yeah, I think it just all is like, let's make sure the root of these lives that we are creating, like this is something that it's like, oh, let's take care of the people that we already have and make sure that they can succeed. Because
Hmm.
I mean, all this to me is just like adding like the right growth conditions for people to
Hmm.
thrive. And when you help Black men, you help Black families, you help communities, and it goes for women too, Black women. So this to me doesn't feel like an affront or like leaving behind women of color at all. This to
Hmm.
me just feels like great. Like I mean, if she has a plan for Asian Americans, if she had a plan for, for LGBTQ Americans, like bring it on. Because I think all these different communities could have different, definitely more attention and, or, access or increase, create a plan for Americans who are disabled, like there's all
Hmm.
sorts of communities that need support. So, but I get it. I think Black men and specifically haven't really been spoken to in a long time by the leaders in the country. And I'm happy to see something so specific. Like, let's just say
Hmm.
this is for Black men. So
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. I was going to say, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany, for this. What? But this was we don't have time to read the whole thing, but we are going to post. I really encourage you to read the whole document. It's only 9 pages, but the media is not going to post this thing in their entirety. They're going to just pull out
Yes.
the highlights, but read it. We'll post it in the show
Yes.
notes. Share it. I mean, this is the kind of thing that I'd print out and highlight and bring it to every election, every debate, every event where you're talking about politics, and just remind these legislators, like, didn't you say you were gonna? And
Mm-hmm.
whatever happened to this? Because these are ideas, they're not actually policies that are input. And it's also, ain't none of this getting done if we lose the House and Senate.
I
Um,
know.
so don't forget to vote down the ballot as well when you guys show up on election day. It's not just about the president, it's about who we're electing into the House and Congress. And it's looking tight. It's looking very tight for
It
Democrats right
is.
now. Um,
I told myself, I'm like, I'm not, I'm invested, but I'm not as viscerally invested as I was the first, because I mean, I almost lost my mind because remember, it wasn't until like the January, well, even January, we had, um, the insurrection. It was, my heart didn't, I don't think I calmed down till March. And I said, yeah, I'm
oh,
just going to do my part, but I don't know if I'm going to do my part in this, like the social media component of it all was too much. So I've been like, I dip my baby toe in, read a little bit of something, and dip back out because it's just, child, like
yeah.
they want to stress us the hell out with this election. And I just was like, I got to protect my mental health while also trying to help to save the free world.
Right. Well, I think Brown Ambition, like, this is the perfect platform for us to just sit
Mm-hmm.
here and let's just like calmly read through some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that's what I think at the end of the day, it's all this heightened emotional element like that is what they want you to feel. But let's just like get down to the nitty gritty.
Yes.
Um, so BA fam, let us know how you're feeling about the election. Don't forget to go to brownambitionpodcast.com and fill out our annual Brown Ambition listener survey, because
Mm-hmm.
we ask all kinds of questions about where you're at, what issues are important to you, and we'd love to hear from you as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's
And
take
don't
a
forget
quick.
to tune in for BAQA on Friday. Okay, and our throwback
Oh, are
on
we gonna do
Monday.
Brown Boost, Brown Break?
Oh, okay, yes. I wasn't sure 'cause I know you had short time, but yes, we can.
I do. We got 2.5 minutes. I can do
Okay,
this.
it's time for the beat. Wait, wrong one.
Nope. Brown Boost.
Girl, let's just jump into it because we only got 2 minutes. Boost, Rob break.
Brown Boost break.
Are you
Oh
gonna boost or
man,
you gonna break?
I'm gonna do a boost, and I don't, man, where's the book? I guess I keep carrying this book up and down the stairs. I can't find it, but I've been reading this really incredible book, and I'm it's one of the books there's like 3 books recently that have been like deeply helpful to me. One of them was Attached, that we talked about before. The
Mm-hmm.
second one was a book called Borderline
Mm-hmm.
by my new therapist Alex, because yes, I read his book and I was like, I'm making that man my therapist. I found out he's local to me, and so now he is, and that's why I got to go in two
Love that.
minutes. The third one is Boy Mom,
Mm.
reimagining parent. I think it's reimagining parenting in the age of Me Too or something like that. And it's by this author called Ruth,
Mm-hmm.
who's a British lady, but she lives in California, the West Coast somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a parent of boys, I say parent, but mother, father, whatever, guardian of
Mm-hmm.
boys, it's like, it is the answer to every little anxiety or fear that I have raising boys in this society, and just feeling like this huge responsibility to create good men, who are compassionate and empathetic, and changing the idea of masculinity, so it moves away from toxicity and to like just a better place, so that they can, yeah, just bring love and joy and, yes, strength and all those great things to their communities, but just in a different way. So she uses all kinds of research and data. I mean, she travels across the country. She really gets on the ground with communities and organizations that are making sure that little boys are getting off the phone and building
Mm-hmm.
friendships and building relationships. And for me, data is everything. I love
Mm-hmm.
research, and she really blows up myths around, is it the phone or is it lack of social engagement that hurts boys? What does turn boys into, school shooters or drives them to have the highest
Wow.
suicide rates? And what happens to boys who are accused of sexual assault in school because they don't understand consent, and like all of these really like hot
Mm-hmm.
button issues.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it. Again, it's called Boy Mom, and it's by Ruth Whitman.
Okay. Real quick, I'm gonna just do a break. So I just got I was like, I got a treasury check in the mail from the I of the R of the S. And I was like, what is this for?
Oh, I want
And
one.
I'm like, it was a refund. And I was like, but it said Tiffany, Alicia, and Jarrell Smith. And I was like, oh, I'm so annoyed because, I don't think people realize even after your partner passes away, so many legal things still come in the mail regarding both of y'all. So I'm
Mm.
looking at it and I'm realizing, like, because last time a check like this came in the mail, took it to the bank. The bank said, "Oh no, your partner also has to sign." I said, "He's dead." The hell!
Mm-hmm.
And I brought everything with us. Like, and they gave me such a hard time, even though I have an estate. Like, you can open up an estate account, like for things like this, and it was Wells Fargo, and they gave me such a hard time. But the saving grace was when Dorella was alive, we had a joint Wells Fargo account, and like our bills account was joint, and I just never closed it, and I never even thought to take his name off. And I was like, well, he said either they have to sign it or it has to go in an account that both of y'all are on. I'm like, well, I have a joint bills account. They're like, oh, okay, but can you imagine that is more legal to have a joint account
Lord
with
have
someone who's no
mercy.
longer here? But girl, whatever. I deposited it. And so this check, and I say all this to say, like, if you have a partner and you don't have at least one joint account, even if you don't use it, please do, because things like this are so annoying. Because I
Oh,
looked
do
on this
we?
check. This was from a refund check from 2018. So obviously the IRS is just now going through taxes.
Mm.
So this is a refund. So meaning that their IRS is not going to reissue me likely a check because essentially it is for Jarrell and I because we were married, we filed jointly because this is like, oh, here's your money from 2018. So I just say all that to
Yeah.
say I'm just so grateful for our joint savings and our joint checking that I still have and I'll likely keep forever because if checks come 10 years late, I want to still be able to access because it's not a little bit of money. So that's my little brown
Yeah.
break. But just a reminder of like some of the things to do now that if God forbid something should happen later, you still have the ability to like access stuff with your person. So,
It's stuff you never think about.
girl,
I don't
it's
even know
annoying.
if, I mean, I think Enrique just has my login for our account that I say is joint. I don't know. I should look into that.
No, you
That's
for
a
real.
good
I have
point.
it literally like a joint account with both of your names are on it. I don't care if you have $10 in there. Just so
Yeah.
if something were to happen, number one, and this is my last because I know you got to jump, is that I remember as soon as Jerome passed away, my financial advisor was like, transfer. He had his own. I knew I had login for his personal accounts too. I was able to transfer his money to our joint accounts. So that because the bank is going to freeze everything and give you so much trouble. And they're so dumb that it's like no matter how much paperwork you bring, it's just such an issue. So I was able to, because you can go from a Jarrell account to a Jarrell and Tiffany account easily. So I was able to
Mm.
do that, hold that money there, and not have to fight with them months and months and months so they get access to money that I should have access to. So having at least
Yeah.
one joint account with your person, with your partner, especially if you're married, even if you're not married. I mean, like I said, even if you just keep $10 for just worst case scenario, a savings and a checking. And so I'm grateful for that. So I don't have to battle with the IRS, which I'm probably not going to win. And I have to battle with Bank of America, which I'm
So
definitely
you
not going
probably
to win.
can't even get them on the phone if you try.
Girl, okay,
I'm going to check my mail. I want a refund. I should get a refund soon.
not
Yay
my
for
6-year-old
finally.
check coming in the mail. They're like, girl,
I
you
know.
mad,
No interest on that either. 6 years. Thank
girl,
you.
girl.
Hmm.
All right, y'all. Until Friday.
Until Friday, thanks for listening. Don't forget to leave a review.
Yes.
And then again, brandambitionpodcast.com. You can fill out the BA listener survey, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.